and welcome. We, as you heard, are the Moss Ensemble. I'm Darcy. This is Marshall and Mary and Elizabeth. And we are thrilled to be here at LTV for our first appearance on this stage. In putting together today's concert, we realized that a couple of inadvertent themes had emerged. The first one, which really delighted us, is animals. For example, in the first song, which is about young love, I sing about deer and some birds, a little fleeing bunny, and a moose. Later on in the program, there's a song about Beethoven's dog. There's also a song about a cat and his monk. And then finally, in the first half of the show, you'll hear Elizabeth play piano solos based on, let me get this right, imaginary animal combinations. So, for example, the hortle, which is a horse and a turtle. The second theme to emerge, a little more typically, is that of love, which you will hear now in the next 3 French love songs.
Revenons rapporter Chers instants qui la terrasse get a little help putting my solo hat on, which I don't wear very often, I will just invite you to look at a little bit of a surprise that you will see, which are some wonderful depictions of these imaginary animals. So Wendy has done them herself. They are actually watercolors, and you will see them in front of your very eyes during these 6 short pieces, which are played without pause.
couldn't resist adding these to this piece. Some of my toys. The next piece, last on our first half, is based on a very, very old English song, one of three by Saint Godric, as he is known, with just a spectacular mood, and at the time the pieces were written with just noteheads, so there isn't really a existing definitive rhythm, so you're somewhat free, hopefully, as you progress in early music circles. I did a lot of early music at St. John the Divine, where I first sang this and came to know this song. So I incorporated it into a much larger piece. It's in 8 small paired sections. So there's 2 intro sections. There's the first verse and a fast variation, second verse, fast variation, and then a double coda, which may seem like one coda. And I hope that there's a little sense of the medieval atmosphere at times, and then sometimes I kind of went beyond that and made a little more dramatic, maybe a little more modern sounding, harmonically. One thing I wanted to point out, two things. There's a fanfare figure, just the most basic fanfare, like, ta-da! And you'll hear that, beautifully rendered, thank you. You'll hear that figure tossed around through the instruments a bit. And the other thing, which is a early music practice, kind of the first harmony in a way, where you'd have a melody, and then above it would be another instrument or voice doing the same melody, exactly parallel to everything that goes on. So Elizabeth will demonstrate that for you. You probably, it's somewhere have heard something like that, and it just automatically summons something ancient. There's something wonderful about that intervallic parallelism. My medieval fantasia.
ready to tango.
you know, Barber has been called a great American romantic composer, and considering that he wrote in the latter part of the 20th century, you can especially understand why, because so much of the music of that half of the century, wonderful though it is particularly unromantic, let's say. So I think it was always refreshing to hear Barber. You've probably heard his Adagio for strings. It's a very, very wonderful piece, deserves to be played all the time. And if you've heard one song, it's probably our last of the three songs, Sure on This Shining Night, which has text by James Agee, who also wrote the text for Knoxville, his big soprano and orchestra piece that you may have heard. Clearly, Mr. Barber was widely read and set many famous poems by many famous poets, James Joyce, Robert Graves, James Stephens, Gerard Manley Hopkins, A. Housman, Theodore Roethke. The list goes on and on. The two hermit songs that Darcy will talk about were translated from ancient Irish by W.H. Auden and Chester Cowman.
The first two songs that we'll be performing are from Barber's Hermit Song cycle. And for the Hermit songs, Barber took texts from illuminated manuscripts from the Middle Ages. But he did not take, as you would expect, the sacred texts, but instead the scribblings in the margins done by the monks as they were tasked to do this illuminating, this, illustrating calligraphy. So these random musings of the monks, the hermits, make for what I think of as very imaginative and interesting takes on everyday, the first song, things, and sacred things, the second song. And the first song is called The Monk and His Cat, and it's about that cat I mentioned earlier, and his name is Pangur.
Now this cat and the song, I have played the song many times, and every time I've played it over many years, I've thought, I have met this cat. I know just what he looks like. I know just where he is. I can see the monk's table with the manuscript on it. Why? I've met a lot of cats. I don't think I've met maybe any monks. Why do I know this cat? Well, about several years ago, I went to a yard sale and found a favorite children's book, which I was delighted to take home and read, about a boy in during the plague in London in 1595 or something like that. And he does not have the plague, but he is sick, and some monks take him in and help him get well and eventually reunite with his parents. And there in the book was the illustration with the monk's table with the manuscript on it and the cat chasing a mouse. Pangur himself, I was right, I had met that cat before.
Fixed on a board.
recently marked another passing, the anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks in our country. And for those of us who live in Manhattan, which we all do, and also my friend Glenn Kubota, who wrote a poem about what happened on that day at the Twin Towers. He said that he felt compelled to somehow allay his anguish and his feelings about what the victims must have experienced that day, and so he did it by writing a poem. And he came to me recently and said, Mary, I would like to reimagine my poem as a song. Would you help me by putting it to music? So we collaborated, we did. And so Choices, the poem is now Choices, the song. I incorporated a few things that you might listen for if you are familiar with the memorial service that they have every year on September 11. It's broadcast, or maybe you've been to it. There is the reading of the names of the victims who perished that day. And for every name, a bell is tolled. And so I've incorporated the idea of that bell in my piece. So you can listen for this, and also this, or maybe together. That signifies the tolling of the bell. Also, I have written a heartbeat for that day as everything was developing and the heart's racing. It's faster. Then later, the heartbeat is slowing down, signifying end of life or death. And also signifies the bodies that fell from the tower that day as they were hitting the ground.
Forever haunted by the choices made that day. Indelible, horrific images not soon to fade away. Gleaming twin towers of our fortune, fame and might, but they were not made to fend off a fanatical wayward flight. An everyday workday moment instantly turned to Armageddon, and now the great hand of fate must suddenly choose from among its brethren a heated inferno of What do they say? What do they say? How do they pray when this is the end? Please take those sights, please take those sounds, and let them float on wings to those choices made that day have somehow diminished me, because now I will compare my life repeatedly. By expressing these anguished and honest words to you, I hope will help to get me
Our next piece is totally different from the last one. It is our first commissioned piece, and it is written by a young Swiss composer. She's 24 years old. Her name is Joëlle Nager, and the name of the piece is Beethoven's Dog. Now, it's not actually about Beethoven's dog. In fact, we're not even sure Beethoven had a dog. Or if his neighbors had a dog, maybe. Anyway, listen and you'll see. The neighbor's dog will not stop barking. He is barking that same high rhythmic bark that he barks every time they leave the house. They must switch him on their way out.
Beethoven's symphony full blast, but I can still hear him muffled under the music. Barking, barking, barking. And now I can see him sitting in the orchestra, his head raised confidently, as if Beethoven had included a part for barking dog. Woof, 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 woof. When the record finally ends, he is still barking, sitting there in the oboe section barking, his eyes fixed on the conductor, who is entreating him with his baton. While the other musicians listen in respectful silence to the famous barking dog so that endless coda that first established Beethoven as an innovative genius.
So for our last piece on the second half, we're doing the last duet from Monteverdi's L'incoronazione di Poppea, and it is a spectacularly beautiful expression of love. Unfortunately, everyone in the opera is somewhat compromised, one way or the other, kind of not the nicest people. And Nero and Poppea triumph, so their love triumphs, and kind of the bad guys get to win in the end. However, the writing is so spectacularly beautiful that by the time you're in the piece, the love itself becomes almost like a separate element. It just becomes so transcendent. It's an incredibly beautiful piece. Monteverdi also, he stood on the cusp of going from Renaissance to Baroque, and some of his innovations were pushing composition forward. Much of his music is lost, unfortunately, but there are quite a number of pieces that have survived, so we're able to see what incredible music he was writing and how important it was. You can see it historically moving towards other things. So this is the final duet.
Urti godo,
being here with us today. We loved being at LTV Studios. Thank you to Michael Clark and especially to Josh Gladstone. Thank you, Josh. Hudson. So we continue with Vivaldi's jubilant Laudamus Te.
We wait till that stops.
Our friend. I wonder if Vivaldi's on that plane.
And we would love to speak with you afterwards.
The little reception.
Absolutely. Ask any question.
Laudamus te, laudamus te, benedicimus te, benedicimus te, adoramus te, magnifica, adoramus te. Laudamus te, benedicimus te, adoramus te, magnifica, magnificamus te. Adoramus te, adoramus te, magnificamus te. Laudamus te, benedicimus te, adoramus te, magnificamus te, adoramus te, adoramus te.
Please join us for a post-show reception with the Moss Ensemble and make your plans down to see Shirley Chisholm next week, Friday night.